Hi friends, it's Nancy, and today I am participating with Amy and Carol and Linda and Mitzie in the, I didn't write this very good, hashtag accordion collaboration. Was Amy's idea, and she asked all of us if we wanted to partake in it, and I said, oh sure, why not, right? It's something different. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I know we're all doing something different. So what Amy came up with, and I am following her design of what she wanted to do. It's made out of the manila folders from the Dollar Tree that I made, you know, the ones that I said. And it's a pocket, as you can see, and I inked everything up already because it took quite a while to ink this up. And I know you all know how to ink, so I didn't think you needed to see that. And it's an accordion, and I know Amy has instructions on her video on how to put this together. Of course, you could do whatever you want, so I'm not going to go over that. I will link Amy's video below on how to start this. So, like I said, I did ink this all up, so it's ready to go, and it's going to live in this pocket here, hence the accordion idea, right? So today I wanted to decorate the outside of the pocket that this lives in. That's what we're going to work on today, and I hope you're all doing well, and I'm very excited about this. Right now, I am going to, just like I said, decorate the cover with some dimension, because I don't, you know, you can't really put a lot of dimensional type things on here. So I wanted to take advantage of the pocket that it's going to live in. And the idea that I am using is a haunted conservatory. So let me just tell you a little bit about this. There is an old estate high on a hill. It's called Ravenswood Estate. And they have a conservatory. Well, the estate has been abandoned for a very, very, very long time. Nobody lives there. It's just sitting there. And some people say it's haunted, the estate, but especially the conservatory. And they said sometimes when it's a full moon at night, people have seen a light, kind of like an eerie light, in the conservatory. And so I thought, that sounds interesting to me. I think we need to dive into that a little more. I like things that are haunted, and I like stories about haunted places. So I thought that's what I'm going to go with. So this is the Ravenswood Haunted Conservatory. Okay, and I'll give you a little more of the story as we go on. So right now I'm not using any digitals yet, but I am going to use Amy's, let's see, I know I have my note here, but I don't think I have it out right now. I will be using her Alaska wallpapers, and I think that's the main one so far. So that's what we're going to use, some of Amy's digital kits, but definitely the Alaska wallpapers I'm going to use for this, for background. I'm using a lot of Tim Holtz pieces. I am using, you remember my vine die cut that I used on my fairy journals. I've die cutted some dark greens. I've die cut some real dark, dusty kind of purple. It's almost like a gray purple. And I've cut some more greens out with my other die cuts. And then I also have some Tim Holtz pieces I'll be using. And then you remember I've used this before. Well, to me, this looks like overgrown or yucky moss. So this is going to be great for texture. I also have, I already pre-cut a piece of the Tim Holtz tissue. I'm looking for the container. because remember I told you I found it, and I intend to use it. It's the Halloween collage paper. So I will be using this, but I already pre-cut a piece for the front. And I wanted some, I knew I had a stamp. This is an old Stampin' Up! Stamp. I wanted something with bricks, so I have that ready to go. I also have my brand new bottle of Distress Grit Paste Crypt. It kind of goes on like a grayish, but it kind of dries like a dark green, like a really cool look. And so that's got to go on there. And also I used one of the Tim Holtz windows, and I had some mica. So I let me see if I can show you on here. I added some broken pieces of mica on there behind it. I glued it already so it would have time to set, to mimic broken windows. So this is going to be the front of the conservatory here, looking in here, okay? So first I wanted to show you well, I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to move this to the side for a second. This is one of those ideas that I get in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. I pulled out some Tim Holtz paper dowels that I wanted to use in here. Not too many, just a few. And I thought, ooh, well, I mean, I want to make them more ghosty looking. And so this is what I thought up in the night. And I came up with this idea here. I don't know. Let me look through the camera and see. Yeah, definitely. You can see this is the paper dowel, not made to look like a ghost, but this one here is. And I don't know, I kind of like it. So I thought I would share the technique. It's super, super easy. And I'm going to probably do this to the paper dowels that I'll be using in here, so you can see that they are people, but they're really faded and textured, so they look like ghosts, right? All right, let me show you how to do that, because I am going to, this was my sample here. Yeah, I was up early because I thought of this in the night, and then I didn't want to forget it, so yeah, it made me stay up from 4 o'clock this morning, so anyway, not a big deal, because it's worth it. Hold on one second. I'm dropping all my things here. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is get yourself a piece of very fine sandpaper. Well, this one is a 150 grit. It's pretty, it's just pieces that I have. It's pretty fine. There's probably finer than that if you have. I wouldn't go any grittier than this. And so I also have my glue stick. I also have some, what do you call this? Oh my gosh. Not tracing paper, it's a vellum. Oh my gosh. So, and this is like a thicker, it's not really super thin, but I think it'd be fine with thin vellum. But I am just going to cut myself a generous piece that I know will go around her. Let me just kind of cut myself a piece off here. All right, so I have the vellum, I have my dowel, I have my sandpaper, and my glue stick. Okay, I'm just going to lay this tissue here. So what I want you to do is take, first you're just going to, you can be a little aggressive, and you're going to sand off the all around, kind of get it to the white all the way around the best you can. So you can do that first, and sometimes you might have to go a little harder. It's okay. You can see I'm going a little harder on here. I want it to get down to the white here. Okay, and I'm going to use this gal. She used to be the one of the people that lived at Ravenswood Estate, and she might have even been the owner, the wife maybe, and that was her conservatory. So first I'm just doing the edges here, okay? Doesn't take, and actually I'm not going to use her whole body. I'm going to have her in the window here, so I'm not going to worry about doing this part here. I'll be cutting that part off. But if you're going to use the whole figure, then you have to go around the whole figure, okay? It doesn't really make much dust, but I would definitely put something on your table and do that. Okay, and then we're going to go around her head, her hair. It's a little tedious when you have the heads, but that's okay. It's all going to work out. You'll see. I just love how it looks. Let me put her back in here. I just love how that looks. To me, it looks pretty good. It might not appease everybody, but okay. Once you get it to where you've got the edges done really well, take the same thing, and I want you to just go lightly now, lightly over the whole thing. And I kind of went in one direction. Now you can see you don't want to get rid of too much of her face. You can be a little more generous on the body. And like I said, I'm not going to go all the way down because I'm going to cut her off. But you're fading her like that, okay? And then you can just wipe it off. Make sure that's how you want it. Okay. I think that's good. So I'm just going to wipe it off with my tissue. All right, now I can get rid of my tissue. Okay. I'm going to get my glue book out here. I'm going to put her here. I've got my vellum ready. Oops, I bent her neck. That's okay. She'll be fine. And let me just see where I think I want her. I can cut her off. I think I'm going to have her like looking this way, kind of like that in the window. You see, she looks good already like that. But with the vellum over it, it makes her look even more ghostly. Okay, so I'm going to cut her about here, just so I know. I don't need to worry about that part. Okay, got my vellum, got my dowel. Now, I want you to make sure you put a good coating, because you don't want to have to go back under the vellum if you don't have to. So take your time and really get glue on all the edges of your dowel. Okay, like rub it in and make sure you get all the edges really good, because you don't want to pull it off and have to do more glue and bend your vellum. Once you get that on there, you're going to lay the vellum on there and press it on. I'm going to pull her off of here. Okay. Just changing the blue page here. Okay. So you just want to make sure you've got the glue. And I'm pressing down pretty good. I don't know if you need to use a bone folder or not. I could try it. If you don't have the, if you don't have the right pressure in your hand or whatever. But just, just make sure it's on there really good. Okay. All right. Let me pull her off this page again. Okay. There she is, right? Now, here's the trick. All I did was tear around her very slowly and carefully. And you can let her dry, but if you're in a hurry like me, I'm just going to cut this part off because I know she's going to be at the bottom of the window, so I don't need to worry about that. As far as her arms, the openings here in the arms here, what I did was just kind of poke it in with my scissor like that and moved and pushed it back with my scissor. Just kind of poke it in there like that and move your scissor around, and it kind of opens it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then if there's any of it sticking up here like this, you can just cut that off. It's really easy. So once you get it that way to where you like it, just kind of move my point of my scissor in there. And then if you want to cut some of the stuff off that you pushed in, you can just do that. That's if your doll has one of those kind of openings. Okay. All right. So once you get that done, all right, now what I want to do is start at one end, and I'm going to hold a little bit around the dowel, but I'm going to tear it. So I'm just going to take my time. You want a little border around it, so take your time doing this. You can always go back and trim a little more, but try to not trim it where you ripped it right off the dowel. Just leave a slight border. Take your time. Go and put your nail there where you're ripping. It's a little hard for me, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're better at it, but I'm going in and I'm coming around the neck. So you just be extra careful there. The trick is you don't want to rip it off the dowel itself, right? You can even come up to the edge if you had to, but like around the head there, I did get close, but it's okay. And then I'm coming around. Now my vellum's a little slightly thicker probably than some, so your vellum might be easier to rip, but just take your time. What I did was I tried it on a dowel, you know, like not the one you really want to use, just try it. Okay, and then we'll go back in and fine tune it here if we can, but let me just continue. And then of course it's trickier around the head, but easier around the body part here. Okay. Okay, so now I can go in here. I want to go a little bit more in here, and I got to fix around here and this little point here. I don't like this point on her head. And I might have to just clip that off a little. Okay, that's fine. And I don't know if I'm going to get to rip any more around there, so I'm just clipping that. And let's see if I can get in there and rip just a smidge more off here, and I think I got it. Okay. And I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Yeah, I did get it good. I think I'm okay. Let me just trim a smidge off right here, right there. So you can always kind of go in with your scissor if you need to, but I'm going to leave it because then you start playing with it and then you're going to ruin it and then you're not going to like it, right? So stop playing with it. All right, so anyway, I think she's pretty cool looking. She definitely looks like the ghost. So it's just an idea that I had. You know, give it a try if you want to try to make some ghosts with the Tim Holtz people. But I kind of like it. All right, let's get to the project here. So here's the envelope. And like I said, I took one of Tim Holtz frames, his baseboard frames or whatever, and I had mica, and I just kind of glued it in. I took a piece of the collage paper, Halloween collage paper, that I wanted to put on the window. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is, oh, I've got to get the doll in, don't I? I've got to put the doll in first. That's right. So I have to decide, where do I want her? Do I want her on this side or on this side? Now, I like the more green hanging here on this side because this side doesn't have it. So I'm thinking I want to put her on the right. And I think I'm going to put her up like that. So I'm going to glue her on. I'm going to use my fabric tack for this just because I think I want to. And I am just going to put glue along the bottom here and a little bit on the side. So I'm going to put a little bit here. I don't want it to ooze out. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try it. I know she's going to go there. Okay. Let's see how she looks. Yes. I like it. Can you see her? I mean, she looks ghostly to me. I love it. I love how that looks. Here, I'll put her here. Can you see that? So she needs to, oh, she's like a ghost creeping in the window there. Now, I got to let that set up for a minute. So I'm going to hold it there. Okay, and then I will use my wet glue to put the paper on. Okay, so now I'm just holding it this way. This is going to go like that. Okay, so I'm going to take my wet glue, my Barely Arts glue, and I'm going to put it along the frame here. I am also going to put it behind her. I think that will be fine. Continue here. Hopefully it's going to be fine. It should be. Down the middle. I don't want it oozing, so. Okay, and I'm just going to put a couple little tiny dots right across this one here. Okay, I think that should be good. So I think what I'm going to do is lay this here on here, my table, and I'm going to carefully, without dropping it, position it where I want it. Okay. All right, that's fine. I like it. I'm just going to push that down for a minute. Make sure it's catching. Now I have some glue here. Let me wipe that up. And that's going to take a minute. And I just need to trim off right up here is what I figured I would, where the little curve is of the window. I wanted to use I used the biggest window that the package had, because that's what I wanted to do to fill the space. Okay. Okay, there's my window with my ghost peeking through it. Very cool. Okay. So now I still have background to fix. And I'm going to, I want to layer this. I want this to be more dimensional too, not just, even though it is dimensional on the window, I want to put some foam tape. I want to put some foam tape. I'm trying to see if I have any. I have white. I have white foam tape, and I have a thin, do I have thin? I might have to cut it down. I have thicker one, but yeah, that's fine. That should be fine. So we might have to use that, and then I can always run a black marker along it, since I don't have any, you know what? I think I do have, no, hold on one second. I know I have the black foam. Give me 1 second. I remembered I bought it, see? I bought a piece of black foam from the craft store. So that's what I'm going to use to make it dimensional. So I've got that. Sorry about that. Okay, so the rest of the background here, I wanted to do some brickwork and add the grit paste too, to make the look like old brick. So I think, and this is all, I haven't tried any of this yet, so I think what I want to do is just kind of, you know, like obviously this will be here, so I don't have a lot to do. I'm not going to keep going like this. I just want to put some here and there for the look of brick. So I'm probably going to use, I think I'm going to use my, I probably should use maybe permanent. No, if I use my oxide, it's, well, that's okay. It's going to oxidize when the grit paste hits it, probably. So I'm going to do that. I have my black soot here. You can see how old it is. You can't even tell what it is. I'm going to do that. And I don't mind that it oxidizes when the grit paste will. And I'm going to put the grit paste on after I get the window on, because then it has to dry and I can't do anything with it. So let's just start. And this can be haphazard. I don't have to have it, you know, I can just kind of see where that is. And put some along the bottom here. I can do that because this will be over it. You won't see it, right? You're not going to see that. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. So let's get some of that on there. I guess I should maybe put my glue page under there. Okay, went a little crooked there, didn't I? But that's okay. It's all right. Now, I need to put, oh, I'm looking for a piece of scrap paper here, book page. There we go. I don't really want to get the brick on the back right now. I don't think I need that on there, so I'll just kind of do that. Okay, and then we can look at it and get an idea. Get an idea of what that looks like. Yeah, that looks good. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, I love that. I'm going to leave this in here for now. just so I have it in there. Okay. All right, so far I'm getting what I think I wanted. And so I don't think I need the black soot anymore. Let me put that back. I love trying different things. Let me clean my staff off. Okay. I'll put that to the side. Now, I think the next thing would be to put the window on, right? So, and I want it to be more dimensional. Like it's already dimensional, but I want it to be more dimensional. So that's, and I can't put a whole piece of black over there, at least I don't think, because it won't be translucent. So I don't know, but it actually might be all right, because it really makes the broken window pop more, other than have it here. But I guess it works either way. I'm just not sure. This works too. It works. Okay. Or it could be darker. You know what? I'm going to cut a piece of this, and we're going to have to decide on this. So let me cut a piece. And this is what I'm saying. You could get a piece of this for like, what is this, 99 cents, and then it could be even cheaper if it's on sale. Cut it to the sizes you need, and that's your dimensional. And you can layer this up. If you want it even thicker, then cut 2 pieces, right? All right, let's see how this looks. I'm going to trim the curve here. Let me trim the curve. Okay, and the sides are good, so it adds more. Now let me put that down there. So that's that with the black foam all the way across. Or if I just want to do it around the edge and not have it in the middle, then that's that. So I wish you could tell me your opinion of what you think is good, because I can't make up my mind, but I have to make up my mind. I think this kind of looks nice, right? Oh, what a decision here. Or it looks fine that way too. What do y'all think on that? I'm thinking without. How does that look? Let me look through the camera, see what you're seeing. I mean, I'm seeing, okay, I see that. Okay, let me move that in. And then when we put this here, no, I think I like the dark now that I'm looking through the camera, because it should be dark in there, right? I mean, there will be an eerie light, they say, but really. Okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to glue. I've decided now that I look through the camera to see what you're seeing, I am going to cut let me just make a nice clean cut here across the top, like that. Okay, and I am going to put this on with my glue. So I will use, I think I'm going to use my fabric tack for this. And I'm just going around the edges on this. So let me get some on there. Now, I'm going to be very sparingly, but enough that it sticks. Like so. We don't need the little glue strands. Okay, and I'm not worried about the middle because this will hold it on really well. Okay, here we go. So by doing that, I'm just going to hold it on there for a second, make sure I have it on good. I think I do. It's on and good. Okay, let me hold it down. I'm through the camera, it looked to me eerier with the black all the way behind it. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so then getting back to this, it's going to go on here like that. It is higher up. Okay, so I could go even higher if I wanted to, but I'm going to be fine with this because it's, yeah, it's good. So I just want to make sure it's on there. So then I want to, grit paste will be last. So in the meantime, these, I don't even know if the Dollar Tree has these. This is Dollar Tree brand, and I had these here. I also found these I had, these stickers. But these are of urns and that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love these. So I thought I could put one out here. I'm going to have to glue this down though, I think. And then I have my die cuts here that I use with my dies. I have some Tim Holtz pieces here, and also the greens that come in his little die cut kits that you get. But I just crushed this one up and then inked it with a vintage photo to give it some. And I think it looks pretty good if you have that, because I know not everybody has these kind of things, you know. But I mean, it's an idea. So, and I have these urns, and I thought, oh, I've got to put maybe a couple of these out because I want to build up the pocket since I can't do too much dimensional inside. All right, so first of all, I think the first thing I need to do now that my window's done is glue the window to the pocket. But I just want to see, I want to get these urns out, and they're dimensional, but they're not that bad. I've had these probably for about a year. I don't know if they even have them anymore like that. Like this one is pretty tall, so that one could maybe, I could probably use this inside the accordion. These are smaller. I like this one. Let me just trim this and get this off the paper here. This one would be fun. I could build it up like that and have greens coming out of it, like even this. Or I have, you know, I can build up some greens coming out of it. I can have them coming out of here with those even. I mean, you could just do whatever you want. Put those behind there. I can do, I didn't ink this up yet, but I could even have this coming out of here just by gluing this right there. I can have that coming out of there. No, I think it's this way more maybe, or even like sideways like that. Look how cool that looks. So I don't know yet, but I kind of like it. All right, let's get this window on. I am going to use my fabric tack again. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Wait till I get the grit paste on. That's going to be fun. And then I'll have to leave it alone and show you in the next video because it will dry differently than as it goes on. So I just want you to know it's a lot of fun to play with, that grit paste. I did have to get a new one because, you know, if you don't use it up, it dries up. All right, I'm just putting this on. Okay. Now I have to position. I want to do it a little higher than lower. So I have room at the bottom to put stuff like trailing vines and everything. I just want to make sure I have it on straight because I stamped my bricks a little crooked, some of them. So let me just take my ruler here. Being, let's see, that's 1.25 inches there. It's 1.25 inches there. So that's good. See, it'll move it around. It'll move around a little. So let me just measure the bottom here, making sure that's even. It's not going to be perfect, but see, it's still wiggly, so it takes time. I'm going to apply pressure here for a minute. So yeah, I'm not sure. And then these are also from Dollar Tree I've had, and there's some leaves, and I can't even tell what's in here. There's a cat. It says All Hallows Eve, so it is, some of these things are Halloweeny, but there's leaves, and there's bats, and some like moth-looking things. So I thought, I bet you I could probably use a couple of those too. So just want to make sure that's on there good. Okay, and then I really do love this one, and it's a sticky back, but I need to build it up, right? My ghost is in the window. I'm loving this so far, but there's so much more we can do here. We can have vines growing everywhere, like, and I love that color. You know, I got a fifth purple, some kind of a gray purple. Purple is my thing, so I could put some of these intertwined with the green because it's not all going to be green. You know, nobody takes care of anything around here, so it has to be sometimes kind of dried up, dead looking. Right? Okay. I have some glue coming out of here. Okay. All right, I think it's fine. Now I've got to decide on, I'm going to pull this off for a second. I have to decide where I want this, and obviously it's going to be onto the frame, but then it has to be built up, okay? All right, or I could put it on this side. Either way, it doesn't matter. But I think I'm going to do it on this side here. So I need to put some of the black. So I'm going to cut more black off here. I'm going to just cut a strip off to work with here. Okay, let me just do that. And let's just, I'm going to work on the bottom part here. It just takes a little bit of a, so the first one will be easy because that will stick actually, because it's sticky, very sticky yet. But I'm going to have to probably build it up a few times. So see what I'm saying is like you can just build it up as much as you want. Wonder if I could just use my, I could use my wet glue here. This should work just fine. The wet glue. So I put 2 layers, and then I can kind of see what I'm going to need. And I think I need a third layer. And that might be all I need. So I'm going to kind of get that started. And let's just take a look. Yes. All right, so I'm just going to put a little 3 layers across this lower area here. So I'm going to take a longer piece. See how easy that is? It's really not bad at all. So I'm going to stick this one here and build up to the third layer again. And that'll just help support. It does take a second to grab, to dry, so just be a little patient. So by layering that up, you see that? That's going to be fine on here, because then I'm going to put a little extra glue and glue it to the frame here. So the pot is going to be dimensional, like so. Now you have to, the only thing is you have to let it dry. You have to make it dry. So I'm going to have to just set it aside for a second and let it dry. In the meantime, let us see about adding some greenery. So I'm going to cut more, but I was trying to think, what else can I put? I could put some of this. And then if I do that, what I'm going to do is I can put a little greenery around here, hit it with I'm thinking out loud, put some greenery against the folder, the pocket, go in with the moss, and then after that dries, come back and add a few greenery, dimensional greenery things, okay? That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing I should do, because I've never done this before. So see, now this is catching already, so that's good. This is still drying on here. Okay. We could, I think I really like this kind of rosy thing, maybe with some greens behind it, but I still want to let that set. So let's decide what we want here. Now, I could put that there. Let's just lay some out and see. I didn't cut a lot, but I have some tall ones too that we could have around. I could even have it growing up the window even, right? And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I could have this growing up the window, and then I can cut this one here, as you've seen me do before. And I can start having some of this, I can glue some of this on here. But you don't want to like overdo it. I don't want to overdo it. You know, that's the thing. It's just something you have to play with. You have to play around and see what you think was going to work. Because otherwise it's too much. But you want it to be more interesting, right? You want it to be, I don't want it to be like, I want to make it pretty, and it shouldn't be pretty. It should be kind of creepy looking. And I probably should hit this with the vintage photo too. Let me get some vintage photo on here. Oh, I've had you for quite a while now, so I'm going to try to give you the idea of what I'm doing. I don't know if I want that one up there. And then Then I have to decide too, do I want some of this along the window maybe? Because that's definitely something dimensional that, see, like these I can use on the inside, but this one I could definitely use on the outside here. So maybe I definitely want to glue a piece of this on here. So let's do that. Now let's make a decision here. Hold on one second. Okay. I guess I could put it there. Let's see what it would look like around here too. But you can't do everything, so I have to decide, do I want it there? Or do I want it here? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's check this out here just to hold it. So that would go here, like that. All right, I think I can put this on now. Let's get this on. So I'm going to put some glue here and here. Sorry if I'm not in line. I'm going to put it there, and it's going to lean on the... Now I should have put some over here, I think, too. See, let me get 3 layers over here. Okay, I'm going to cut a little thicker and cut this in half. That's what I need to do. Okay, so let's get some over here. Might have to wait for that again. Put that there. And then another. Were you yelling at me to do that? I wasn't thinking there. It's, you know, it's like, it's something that you, if you haven't done often, you have to really kind of think out your steps, like what would be the best thing to do next, right? So, okay. I'm going to do my best now to put this on right here. And by doing that, it is very dimensional. And I will show you. I'm going to have to hold that down because it's coming up. I'm going to have to hold it, but I want you to see. And I will put greens or something around there maybe, but you can see how dimensional it is, right? Okay. Oops, crooked. So I need to keep that in place. I need to get some pressure on there. So in the meantime, I can even kind of glue this around here too. Have it kind of grown around, and I can, that would be a really good way to cover up that would be a very good idea, but let's see. I could just kind of glue it around here like this in there. I think some of my black here is moving on me here. There we go. I could kind of put it there like that. And that would cover up that if I glued it there. I don't know. So many decisions to make, right? I know I've got to let you go. I don't want to keep you too long, but at least we got that window done. You know what I'm going to do with the texture paste. And you know what I'm doing here. Okay. And I'm really thinking I like this here. So I'm going to have to grunge this up a little. Yeah. And vintage photo is just fine. It really took the color down here. And I think that looks really good there. So I am going to use my fabric tack for this. Because I think that'll work best. Like that. And that's going to take time to dry. Put some pressure there. My hands are sticky. So that's what I'm going to do so far. I don't mind that that's sticking out. I can afford to be dimensional with this pocket here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue, put something on here to have pressure because I really don't want this moving around. And then in the meantime, I'm going to decide where I want to put some greens, some of this, and once I get that figured out, I will go in with this texture paste and kind of use that and kind of just put some here and there on the brick. And then you'll have to see the finished pocket in the next video, and then we'll start collaging on the accordion part. Okay, friends? All right, sorry I couldn't get it all in for you today, but it's an hour already, but you kind of get the idea of where I'm going with this now. So okay, I'm moving it around, see? Okay, friends, I'll see you in the next video. This will be fun. Take care now. Bye.